Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. We'll begin in 2 minutes.
Part 7, digging deeper into what has happened. Let me get my mic up here a little bit closer. Panel 2, this is a 20 panel Tomei, I believe you wrote here. Yep, 20 panels. Panel 2. And let me move the hand up a little bit. This is a term used in Roman law that refers to the extinguishing, either in whole or in part, of a person's former status and legal capacity. The courts and other government offices are using Roman law to diminish your status by the capitalization of your name. In Roman law, a diminution or alteration of a person's legal status, it can also be spelled capitis diminution, also decapita minutus, and that's capitis diminution. Right? Am I pronouncing
Guys,
correctly?
this has been going on forever. It started way back. It started way back in what, 1200 BC, right around there. This is when all these laws came into effect. And this is why it's so important to understand laws and understand what they've done to us.
Absolutely. And, when I tell people about the whole system in whole, that, it's not, this hadn't been going on for a decade or five or century or two. This has been going on for thousands of years.
The only thing that they've been doing is redefining it and refining it every time we catch on to what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And I don't think they have much more that they can refine, because I mean, people are just totally waking up to the situation. And it's all in the books. It's all right there in front of your face if you just take the time to read it.
Yeah, in my opinion, this isn't financial advice or any kind of advice. This is just my opinion that it's going to, the whole system's going to collapse. And when it does collapse, if you're not established in the right position, you're not going to be able to operate because they're not going to have the capacity to allow you to operate like that. Go down with the house of cards. You're down with the house of cards. You know what I mean?
My dogs are going a little crazy right now. Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right. So did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
You're absolutely correct. And the whole thing is, I mean, after watching the speech last night, I think the cards are going to fall down real soon because that was pretty bad.
I didn't listen to him. Was it that bad?
Oh, you called demonic, if I could say so.
Say that again?
It was pretty demonic, if I could say so.
Really?
Yeah, because we're patriots and whether we're, Republican or we want to make America great again, which they're, like pushing the word mega out there, MAGA, we are terrorists. We're totally terrorists and we're, enemies of the state. So it was pretty sad what the president said about over 80 million people in America last night. It was pretty sad. It's the first time in my life I ever heard a president talk about the people like this president did. It was sad, really sad.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to go listen to that. Sounds like I got a bedtime story coming.
Well,
Right?
enjoy the red bloody background.
Well, I wouldn't expect anything else from adrenochrome drinking junkie.
Do you remember the film V? V for Victory? The V.
Oh, yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah. And you
That
saw
kind
it
of
was
creepy stuff. Okay.
Yeah, the Hitler thing standing up there like this. Well, you're going to be looking at it from our president. It's so similar to that film. It's absolutely shocking.
Huh. Okay. Panel 3. What they have done to us is wipe out our former individual and put a new one in our place. Between the old and the new individual, there is nothing in common. There is nothing in common, right?
Right.
Okay. You got nothing in common. There is nothing in common. Therefore, a juristic personality may be destroyed in one of 3 ways. First, capitis diminutio. Maxima is the loss of the status libertatis. Second, capitis diminutio. Media is loss of status of cavities. Third, capitis diminutio. Minima is the severance from agnatic family. Agnatic.
That's it. Agnostic. You have an agnostic family in Roman law, and that's. Well, we don't call it an agnostic family. We call it our present family. But in the laws of these courts, your family is considered agnostic.
Okay, yeah, I want to make sure they heard that correctly. Agnatic.
Mm-hmm.
They, might thought I was mispronouncing. I've never run across that word myself, but I just learned something. Capitis meaning capital. The capitalization of your name will diminish your status.
So basically, what they're doing is they're literally, depending on which of the titles they put at the end, maxima, media, or minima, this is how much you lose your status. So if it's maxima, you lose everything. Media, you lose part of it. And minima, you lose just small thing. So if you look at it, maxima is maximum, media is medium, and medium is small.
Okay. 0, 50, and 100. There you go, kids. Panel 4. Capitis diminutio maxima. This means the maximum. This is the highest or most comprehensive loss of status. This occurs when a man's condition, which is changed from one of freedom to one of bondage, when he became a slave, which swept away all citizenship and all family right, Roman law. Banks, courts, and everyone else using prescription because we did not make a claim, and therefore we are losing our right and we are losing our claim.
Yeah, it really is a prescription, because what they're doing is when a doctor writes a prescription, he writes his orders on a notepad. He gives it to you to give to the pharmacy. So what these banks are doing is they're writing their contracts, and it's considered a prescription. And they need their contracts filled. So it's like you go somewhere to have your prescription filled. They're looking for us to fill their contracts. This is why it's called prescription, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Script. It's right there.
They're writing their script. Exactly.
Panel 5. Loss of familia, Latin, for family. Roman law, familia, all person. Is that persons? Free and slave?
No, well, yeah, they just call all person. They never put,
plurality.
plurals or, yeah.
Okay. There you go, kids. See, we're checking the checkers.
In the law book, it just says all person.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was looking, I'm like, well, shouldn't it be persons? And then I looked again and again, and I checked several different resources. And no, when it says familia, it just says all person, plural. Okay. It's not, like more than one. Right. I don't know why. I guess it just seemed really weird. It just said, I would imagine it would say every person, or it doesn't.
Yeah, don't get me lying. I quit school in 4th grade. Okay. Yeah, something I was gonna say about that. But anyway, moving on. One's legal relations through and with one's family, including all property, ancestral privileges, and duties. Under Roman law, they have diminished your status and created a legal fiction, and everything has been put in a trust because a legal fiction is a trust. It is a constructive trust.
So basically, these laws that Roman does, if it's the maximum of your status change, that means you've lost everything. You've lost your family, you've lost your status, you've lost every single thing there is. And you have absolutely no privileges whatsoever.
Right. And that's, my buddy Andre used to give me this reference. Did you ever watch the movie Robin Hood with Jamie Foxx as Robin Hood? Because his status got stolen because he was missing too long at war, and they pronounced him dead and seized all his assets for the kingdom. And when he came back to life, he had no rights and privileges and anything, status. He was a war hero. All right. Panel 6. Any document that has your name in all capital letters, no matter if it is from DMV, IRS, the bank, a court, or a loan company, has created a trust that has a hidden agenda to take over your household, your quality of life, land, and what you need to maintain your family. And you too can retire at Peaceful Oaks Gracefors.
Just remember, 2030, you will own nothing and be happy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That almost sounded like a company slogan.
What was my new slogan?
Just did. This system is like a vacuum that can suck all of your assets from you. Courts consider this an equitable remedy that they impose against one who has obtained property by wrongdoing. This is a constructive trust that they have imposed to prevent unjust enrichment and creates no fiduciary relationship. Believe it or not, this is not a trust at all, despite the name. And panel 7. 5 CFR Code of Federal Regulations, section 31.1403, equity and good conscience, defined under 5A, or actually 831.1403A. Recovery is against equity and good conscience when, 1, it would cause financial hardship to the person from whom it is sought. 2, the recipient of the overpayment could show, regardless of his or her financial circumstances, that due to the notice that such payment would be made, or because of the incorrect payment, either she has relinquished the valuable right or changed positions for the worse, or 3, recovery could be unconscionable under the circumstances.
So see, they're violating all their own laws. And especially when you get into this law, because you see where it says recovery, it's against equity. So you can't recover anything against equity. And these are the trusts that they're making. That's the definition of the constructive trust, exactly what it says in their statutes. So they've created this trust. So what have they done? I mean, seriously, against equity, recovery is against equity. That's crazy.
Right. Joke there. What the hell happened? Oh, I see what that is. Okay. All right. I had to do a little editing there on the fly. This right here, it says fines. Is that an orphan?
Oh, you have to go down to the next panel to continue with it.
That's panel 8.
Oh, okay.
There's panel 7. It's an orphan.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's how are we going to find ourselves? It's the fines. Yeah, you can remove it if you want.
It's an orphan. Okay, panel 8. Another remedy for the court. I have just talked about writing a notice of intent or note to issue and a statement of interest to deal with court cases. A second remedy in a court case to defeat them is to agree with them. Don't create a controversy and later on get into a position and change it. When the judge asks you, what is your plea? Excuse me. What do you plead?
No, he says, what is your plea? And you answer the plea by saying, I'm here to plead guilty to the facts. It should be, what do you plead? Yeah, what do you plead?
Okay.
So what you say is, I'm here to plead guilty to the facts. The facts being, you are the trustee of the trust that was created for you by the court. So if you plead, you don't plead guilty, you don't plead innocent. So what you're doing is you're pleading, yes, I am the trustee of your trust. And that's the end of the situation.
Right. Okay.
So you guys keep in mind, there's so many remedies in court cases. There's so many things that have worked for so many people. Other people go in and try it, but they just don't listen to what the person says when they walk into the court to try this. They'll just come in and say, they'll put 10 different things together into one court case. And I've seen a lot of people come up and, like show these videos from TikTok. Oh, he won his court case. And I look at that and I'm saying, did he really? The judge told him to get out. That means that the judge didn't want to hear what he had to say. Right. So to me, he didn't win the court case. If he won the court case, the judge would have said, dismiss, case dismiss. And I'm just like, how can you guys say that that remedy worked? It doesn't. But then other people, listen to what somebody says. Oh, he won his court case. And they'll go in and do the same thing. And wow, they end up getting thrown out of court and they don't understand why. Well, he won. No, he didn't. He really got thrown out of court if you listen to it. If you really listen, he really got thrown out of court.
Right. Okay. Have we gotten through this panel? Did you read the rest of it, the remainder?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Panel 9. I'm in the right place. Yeah. Panel 9. Once there is no controversy, there is no case. Now it is possible you can go into the chambers and tell the judge that you are the trustee and why you didn't make the payment by legal means. The legal reason is that the case is now under discretionary trust, and you have the discretion as the trustee to withhold the payment because the beneficiary is bankrupt and insolvent, which makes sense because you want to be Joe broke. When a judge asks you what you are pleading guilty to, just answer that you are pleading guilty to the fact that you are the trustee of the trust. I'll run into that again. So I like that. So everybody understands that's an important term that everyone should adopt. Correct?
Oh, correct.
Okay. I will agree with the judge. I did not make the payment.
You know what? Everybody's going about this the wrong way. Everybody wants to be the beneficiary. But you just see right here, why didn't the trustee make the payment? Because the beneficiary is broke and insolvent. So do you guys really want to be the beneficiary, broke and insolvent? Or do you want to be the trustee who controls it all? That's the question.
And the answer is no, you don't want to be the trustee, broken and insolvent.
Wait a second. The trustee is not broken and insolvent.
Right.
The judge and the beneficiary
that
is.
Guy.
Yeah. The beneficiary is the one who's broken and insolvent. So do I really want to be broken and insolvent in a court case? Heck no.
You want to be this guy.
Yeah, I want to be the trustee because I'm in control. Because I'm not broke and I'm not insolvent.
Yep, exactly. But my damn little brother, he broke. He a beneficiary, he broke. All right. And panel 10. Once you do this and there is no longer a controversy, when you are in chambers with the judge, you can explain to him that this is a discretionary trust. Before doing this, you will create your non-negotiable private instrument. While in chambers, you will hand the judge your non-negotiable private instrument for the payment that you previously created prior to going in chambers or in camera. We're offering the judge a remedy that will allow you to pay the charge so the bankrupt beneficiary is no longer bankrupt. You're going to make it rain. All right. Let the judge know that, see, even the dog's excited. You're going to make it rain. Let the judge know that you can disperse the total funds. This will make the beneficiary solvent again and allow you to fulfill the purpose of your purpose as trustee to make sure that the beneficiary is happy.
Yeah, see, that's the whole thing. The beneficiary, he never says that he's a beneficiary, but he just, it's an assumed fact in a court case that they're going to be the beneficiaries. So, I mean, use it to your favor. Stop fighting the system. Use the system to your favor and just appease them. I mean, seriously, appease them. Say, okay, I get the fact I'm the trustee. And, and in the back of your mind, you say, I've got the power. I can tell you what you get because you're only the beneficiary. And whatever little scraps I want to throw at you is all you can have. Because, I mean, think about it. We're the beneficiaries of all these contracts around us, and they throw us little scraps, and that's all we get. So why not be the trustee and control the scraps that are thrown at the beneficiary?
Yeah, right. No shit. Okay, panel 11. Beneficiary or trustee? We are in a win-win situation no matter if we are the beneficiary or the trustee of this trust. If we want the role of the beneficiary, we need to step forward and claim the trust. This means giving notice of intent and a statement of interest to the court. Otherwise, we assume the role of a trustee and create our own paper, which is a non-negotiable instrument, and give this to the court to settle the account.
You guys realize all paper is non-negotiable interest. You have a stock certificate, it's a non-negotiable instrument. You have all these promissory notes, they're non-negotiable instruments. And guess what? If you look in the law, do you know how many of those documents the court holds on to? Every single person in every single case, if you figured it out, that court would only be holding stacks of paper. It'd be so funny. It's absolutely hilarious when you understand that you cannot really pay them in fiat because fiat is a debt currency. So you cannot pay debt with debt. So the only way you can pay debt is with a non-negotiable instrument. And that's something you write because guess what? You're the trustee. So write the non-negotiable instrument and supply it to the court. Put your little seal on it, put your little stamp on it, write trustee, sign your little name and say, okay, here's your paper, non-negotiable instrument that I'm using to close out your case. Now you're not broke anymore, Judge. Have at it.
Right. Okay. Create a trust from an old court case. Oh, Jesus Christ. Talk about.
You can do that up to 10 years, believe it or not.
Oh, well, I better get busy because they're expired, one right after another. 2012, oh yeah. Yeah, that's about when I quit litigating.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I've seen people, go back 15 years or 20 years. So I just say 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, in the last 20 years, I have. 100 court cases, different numbers, because they're all accounts.
Wow.
That's why they like to give them
Do you know
numbers.
how many estates, how many trusts you have and how many bid bonds, payment bonds, and performance bonds you have that you can recover and put in your trust? You have a lot.
I've seen my Fidelity Investments, CUSIPs, associated with my certificate of live birth. One of the few that I know, I don't know anybody who's seen theirs beside me. And I did it twice. I haven't been able to do it again. To this day, I still can't do it.
Wow.
But yeah, I got in there twice to see, and there were over 12,000 accounts. I want to say like 12,500 and change or something. So obviously nobody can humanely possibly.
Oh, I did it on my social security number.
Yeah.
I had way over 15,000 companies who used my social security number. That was amazing. I'm just like, wow, wow, wow. I have all these companies under my social security number. I'm just like, okay, you know,
Oh,
I
I
can
have
see
over
them.
a million.
Oh yeah, I don't even remember how many pages it was. I went
Yeah,
through
that's why
maybe
you
too
gotta go
many
watch that
pages.
video that I did on the GMEI.
Yeah.
Because you do know in 2020, the first year of COVID, when everybody was locked down worldwide, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation did I want to say $22 quadrillion in worldwide business financial transactions.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And what's their subsidiary called? The GMIutility.org. Oh, okay. It all makes sense now.
Wow.
Uh, yeah. Once you start digging deep into my videos, there's a pattern. And if you watch enough, you get it. You really get it. You can't help but get it.
It's like if you read a few trust books, right there in black and white, it tells you exactly what it
Yeah.
is. You go look up the statuses and the statues, and boom, it's right there in front of your face.
Yeah, you
I
don't have to
mean,
convince me. It's like,
they just tell you they literally tell you how to do it. You just have to, it's like a puzzle. You dump all
absolutely.
the 1,000 pieces on the table, turn them over. Now try to build your cart, your outside, of your puzzle, and now try to figure out how to get every piece in the middle of it. So basically that's basically all you're doing, is just filling in the pieces. So this one says all court cases have a bid bond, payment bond, and performance bond attached to the background that keep running. You can
Uh-huh.
take control of these bonds by taking control of the main trust. This is the whole case. And that can,
That
oh,
takes care of the proceed of
okay,
all the
yeah, I'm
proceeds
I'm
that are
seeing
attached to
your,
the case.
yeah, I'm not being able to see where all the words. Okay,
That's
you will
fine.
need to put these into a special deposit. So basically, you literally have to go back to the first court case, even though you have 1,000, things that go after that case. It's the very first, case that they tried that has dates on it. So you have to go back to that case, and then you move forward from there. And then you can start recovering the cases. And believe it or not, even though your court case, they say dismissed or whatever, guess what? That case still runs in the background because nobody ever closed out the bonds. So the bonds are still there, and they're still drawing interest off all these bonds.
Which makes fucking perfectly good sense, to put it bluntly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they won't dismiss and close out a case unless you force your hand for that case to close out, and you absolutely recover those bonds and you
Right.
put them in the trust
I
that
do
they created for you.
right. I do know that when you die, they pull your cases offline for some reason.
It's because they can't collect on them anymore. I
I
don't
guess
think.
so. Yeah. It was weird. My dad's stuff, I could like look at it for a while and then gone. Okay. Next panel, 13. Now, in the settlement of interest, you can order this paid by the trustee. Furthermore, tell the trustee what is
Oh, it's
left.
supposed to be, you're supposed to tell the trustee.
Okay.
You got to realize I speak two languages, guys, and half the time, like everything is in French here, and I'm trying to, translate it to English. So sorry about the errors.
No big deal. I'll start over. Now, in the settlement of interest, you can order this paid by the trustee. Furthermore, you can tell the trustee what is left after paying these costs. The disbursement comes back to you. The disbursement comes back to you. This gives you access to the funds. Now, this is where you need to pay close attention. What do you do with that check will determine if you are working in the private or in the public. Okay. So, italicized that. So there's a little exclamation with it without doing it. As the debtor, you will want to cash that check and go spend the money, right? Yeah, that's what we want to do. Go make it rain. Look at me. Jordans. No wrong. You cannot do this.
Nope, guys. If you have literally gone in the public, in the private, and you disperse the funds and you have a refund from these bid bonds, and all these bonds are attached to your court case, and they give you a fiat check, fiat currency check, and you put it back into the public, you are a debtor again. You cannot do that. It's absolutely incorrect. You literally have to do something else with that check. And it's pretty simple solution.
Okay. Excuse me. Panel 14. Special deposit to the trust. You need these all day, every day. You will need to take this check or funds and put it back into the trust under a special deposit on the private side. And just to kind of pause right here and give everybody a little wise enlightenment. This is exactly what the guy that associated with Heather Antucci did. He got these checks back and he went batshit crazy with those checks because he cashed them and went and got that fiat currency out and went buck wild. And yeah, he was no longer on the private side. He went out there and got public, and they handled him in a public way. So that's what the 1099 OIDs was all about, with the 1099 process. They eventually figured out, oh, well, we got to just file the OIDs. And man, they send us these big checks. We can go big crime crazy.
You got to realize that's principles. They're sending you the check of principle, and if you spend the check of principle, then you're in trouble. So basically what you have to do is deposit the principal in the private in a different trust called a nonprofit trust. And then you live off the interest of those checks. Only the interest. You never touch the principal. Never.
Yeah, it's called infinite banking, correct?
Exactly. So pretty cool. Can you imagine having it, they send you a 4 million check, you have another 4 million check, you have another 4 million check. They're all in your special deposits. You've got like 120 million. How much interest would you get each month? You'd get a hell of a lot of interest to live on.
Right.
You never have to touch the principal. Just let it grow.
Yep, absolutely. You will give the instruction to tell the trustee what trust to deposit the funds to and how to handle these funds. Your instructions will be to create a special deposit that will generate the interest from the check in a nonprofit trust the trustee may set up for you. Now you can use interest from the special deposit. Otherwise, if you just take the check, you are right back in the same situation you're trying to get out of. Playing with their money.
Yeah, and especially, what's funny is the nonprofit trust can actually be on the public side, but it can be out on the public side, and you can have checks that go to that trust, but you have to just make sure that you don't touch a dime of the principal, that you only touch the interest. So you might have to wait a month or 2 months for the interest to build up to start taking money out to be able to use it. So you have to be patient, guys. It's all there. They'll give it to you if you know how to handle it. And they just, these checks are just like if you have a 3-year-old child who walks into the store and the first thing he sees is a huge lollipop and he wants it. And, he wants to go take it and just eat it while he's in the store. And the parents say, no, you can't have that. You have to wait till we're done shopping. And if you're good, you can have it. So it's something they want to dangle in your face.
Right. Anna, did I say that out loud? I did. This is where we need to issue an NOI, notice of issue, to the judge, excuse me, in his or her chambers. In order to go this route, you have to have your account set up correctly. You have to have all your titles merged, and you need the IRS on your side. Oh my God, we're gonna make those guys our buddies.
Yeah, it's simple too. One form does it all.
Yeah, we could use the IRS as our friends. The IRS is the ones who are in charge, and the judge must listen to the IRS. If you have not had time to set up all your accounts and merge your titles, there are other solutions you can take until you are done with the merging of your titles.
It's pretty simple. The IRS is one form. So considering you're the trustee and they're the beneficiary, you don't want to have to be stuck paying trust taxes because you gave a disbursement or a gift to them by giving them some type of a gift or whatever to pay this stuff off. So you basically, because they never pay taxes. Do you realize that? These people never pay taxes. So literally you have to give the IRS their information.
Right.
And it has to go in your court case. And then they're going to have to, whatever money they receive, they're going to have to pay the taxes on it, which is wonderful.
Okay. Panel 16. If your titles have not yet been merged with the IRS and the IMF, the Internal Revenue Service, and the International Monetary Fund, you can create a notice of
Acknowledgement.
or an acknowledgement of the debt. Should that be of a notice of acknowledgement of the debt?
Notice or, no, it'd be notice or an acknowledgement.
An acknowledgement.
An acknowledgement.
Okay. Maybe put a comma in there that'll kind of clear that up a little bit. All right. This will put an estoppel on the case because you now have an agreement with the court and there is no controversy. You will now put in your order for the settlement. You will need to make sure you have a special deposit claiming all the bonds in the background. That's your third option.
Mm-hmm.
Panel 17. Your order will tell the court to convert the funds from the bonds. This is the bid bond, the performance bond, payment bond, GSA, SF forms that we're talking about. 24, 25, 25A. Your order will tell the court to convert the funds from the bonds and make a settlement to close out the case and settle the case. You can use this method if your title has not yet been merged with the IRS and the IMF. We will go over that one next. Once you have completed these steps, you can give this information to the IRS and ask them to make sure everything is closed out. You need to create a document called Acknowledgement of Debt and file this with the court. You are acknowledging the debt through your fictitious name, not as a man.
You see, the court cannot deal with you as a man. Even, as you're standing out there, they have got you in two jurisdictions right away. They've got you in equitable jurisdiction because they created the trust for you, and they've got you in fictitious jurisdiction. And what you're not understanding is they want to keep you in fictitious jurisdiction. They don't want you to get into the equitable jurisdiction.
Meanies.
I know they just don't play fair, but once you get to understand how they do it, it's really easy to make them play fair.
All right, yeah. Okay, here we go. Panel 18. The letter will be submitted on the public side and not in the judge's chambers, which is in camera for those learning. The judge will call a hearing, and this is when you can tell the judge that it is best to settle this matter in private and not the public. Do not mention the bonds that are attached to this acknowledgement in open court. They're going to ignore it. This is a private
They'll
matter.
ask you, do you need to see a psychiatrist?
Yeah, they can't hear that, so don't try to make them hear it.
It's like they have earplugs in.
Yeah. They're gonna make you look, crazy sideways. They're gonna treat you as such. This is a private matter, needs to be settled in chambers with the judge because of the bonds that you have attached to the back of this document. You are telling the judge that you have knowledge of these bonds and that you have encompassed them in this acknowledgement and are ready to disperse these funds.
See, get it, guys. You're the only ones who can disperse the funds because they have you in 2 jurisdictions. So get into their jurisdiction, get out of the public and get into their jurisdiction. And once you do that, you'll leave that staging area.
This is kind of like the Masons, how they have, the poses, the handshakes, the mannerisms and characteristics they're supposed to, display to other members for identification, wink, wink, nod, nod. Oh, okay, yeah, you're one of ours.
Do you know the only thing that has actually changed here in France? Believe it or not, and they still wear those stupid wigs in court. The men still wear those stupid wigs in court.
Right.
I mean, how many years are they going to wear those, ridiculous wigs?
Yeah.
In America, they stopped wearing the wigs, thank God.
Yeah,
but they still wear the black robes.
They still wear them in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. They still gotta worship Satan. Okay. That reminds me. Joe Biden video. Like, subscribe, share, notification, leave a comment below. FearlessFloydShow.com. It's up and running. Telegram, BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, everywhere. Let's see, panel 19. So, what have we just done? We called a special hearing to acknowledge the payment. And we cannot talk about this in public, and we need to get this into the private, which is in camera, in chambers, where the judge can go into his office, take off his robe, and put it on that little hall tree, and have a seat, in his plain clothes, and y'all can have a conversation, and you better know what the fuck you're talking about. He's gonna clown you. That's not where you want to get clowned. That's when you want to shine. We will have a note to issue prepared and take it to the court with us. So for our in-chambers interview. And we also have
first you file that with the court. And just to make sure that the judge has seen that or acknowledges it, you will bring the copy with you. And if you start saying something, just wave the little copy up in the air and say, I did file some paperwork I think you need to look at.
Corrections. All right. Okay, we will also have our statement of interest with us so we can get this into chambers. We are using the UCC1 and UCC3. It's the financing statement, and this is an addendum to the financing statement.
UCC3 is assigning the debt or assigning the debtor. Yeah.
It's a follow-up to the UCC1 because the only other follow-up is a 1 AD, 3 AD. Okay, yeah. All right. The statement of interest has the, let's see. Stand out. Sure. Editing. Okay. The statement of interest has the UCC1 and UCC3 attached, and you will also need a UCC1 for the county also.
Right. So you're not just filing with the Secretary of State a UCC 1 and 3. You also have to turn around and file a UCC 1 with the county.
Okay. And that would be the county clerk, right?
Right. County parish. Okay.
Louisiana, man, I can't forget our little cousins over there. Yeah, even though they are the namesake of the Louisiana Purchase. They had it right there in their hands. They just let it go.
Oh, they let a lot go in 1783. They let more go in 1783 than they did after any of the other ones.
Yeah, well, still, to lose it all.
I think they had their hands on freedom from 1775 to 1783, and then afterwards they were right back into slavery.
Right.
That's it.
All right. And panel 20. This is summary. Here we are talking about different ways to settle court cases and also loans and other issues that we really didn't dive into what all areas
well, you guys, any of this stuff that we're doing, it doesn't just apply to court cases. I know that's the biggest interest right now out there, all these people who have pending court cases. That's sort of why I sort of gear some of this around just to court cases. But all the things that we're talking about can be used in any form of commercial contracts. And that's all we're doing. We're working in contracts.
So that means if you're a Chris Hauser fan and you want a car, like you could use this method to get a car instead of a 1099A?
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
And you're not giving me a financial advice.
No, I'm not.
Oh man, that's like 15,000 people out there that are just.
I mean, if you want to stay as a beneficiary, I will say no, you won't get your car. Right. But if you want to change your role and change your mentality and change the way you look at it and mirror it around, there is major possibilities you will have that car.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right, since we're talking about loans and other issues, which, could look like a lot, what we're talking about here can be applied to mortgages, car loans, and even credit cards. No matter what we need to create the trust, take control of the title, give our notice of intent or notice to issue, and our statement of interest, we have to create a special deposit and move it into the trust. Here should be acknowledgement of debt. All right, wouldn't you think? In between there and there. Anyway, in our next video, we will talk about the UCC1 and the UCC3 and how they work. How we can use them to create our special deposits for our trust. There we go. Okay.
There you guys have it. We're going over these step by step so that people can start to understand how they're fitting together. If I give out too much information in one shot, you guys are going to get lost. So it's better to take little bites out of this and digest it completely, chew it up and digest it completely, and then we can just move forward. That's the way it needs to be done.
Thank you for hanging around after the show. I want to present to you Tailor Made Trust, featuring LeFlore's Trust Series, available at tailormadetrust.com, as well as the fearlessfloydshow.com store. Here are a handful of the available trusts that can be built, custom tailored to your needs and desires. 25 different trusts, plus the DNA trust addendum. And as always, LeFlore's classic trusts and ancillary classes, and also Anne's books on trust and specialty trust, which I also co-authored. If you'd like to get a class, a book, or have a trust custom built for you, always available at the fearlessfloydshow.com store. And I'll see you in the next show. Thank you for watching and have an awesome day.